Welcome back, my dear minions. Viewers, I see you've managed to escape the clutches of the surface world and have returned to the depths of darkness, where the only thing we take seriously is our love of evil. Well, settle in, grab a bucket of freshly brewed lava, and get comfortable, because we're diving back into the delightfully despicable world of Dungeon Keeper. That's right, it's part 2 of our playthrough, and I promise not to torture you too much. Now, let's take a look at our next target, the quaint, peaceful town of Cozy Tone. Isn't it just adorable? The little houses, the bustling market square, it's just begging to be desecrated. As the great evil overlord that I am, it's my duty to bring darkness and despair to this abomination of happiness. And what better way to do that than by undermining it? Literally. We'll be digging tunnels, stealing gold, and generally causing chaos beneath the unsuspecting feet of the residents. It's going to be a blast, or at the very least, a series of strategically placed tunnels. Now that we're getting started, it's time to build our underground dungeon. And what's a dungeon without some essential rooms? First things first, we'll need a place to stash our treasure. After all, what's the point of being an evil overlord if you can't hoard some gold? So let's dig out a nice, cozy treasure room. Next, we'll build a lair. This is where our creatures will rest their wicked heads, sleeping off the exhaustion of serving us. Finally, we'll need a hatchery, and this is where things get delightfully dark. We'll be raising chicks to feed to our minions. Because what's a dungeon without a steady supply of fresh meat for our loyal followers? Let's talk about where we'll stash our loot. I mean, our treasury. I could put it here, but I think it would be better to locate it to the west of our dungeon heart. After all, we want to keep our treasure close to our, well, not exactly our heart, but you know what I mean. I'll just wait for my imps to finish claiming that area. They're working tirelessly to dig out the rock and make sure it's safe for us to expand into. Once they're done, we'll get our treasury set up and start filling it with all the gold and treasures we'll be plundering from the surface world. Or, you know, just taking from the poor, defenseless villagers. Either way, really. It seems we've hit a bit of a snag. Our gold reserves have dried up, for the moment. How inconvenient. Well, I suppose we'll just have to wait for our imps to get back to work, digging deep into the earth to uncover more of that sweet, shiny gold. After all, our dungeon isn't going to fund itself, and I have a reputation to uphold as a ruthless, gold-hoarding overlord. So let's just sit back, relax, and let the imps do their thing. I'm sure it won't take them too long to dig out more gold, or uncover a few unsuspecting heroes to, recycle into more gold. Let's get the hatchery finished up, shall we? We can't have our minions going hungry after all. A well-fed minion is a happy minion, and a happy minion is a minion that's eager to do our bidding. And once the hatchery is complete, we can turn our attention to that juicy gold deposit to our west. I can practically smell the gold ore just waiting to be mined. And the thought of all that shiny gold filling our treasury is just delicious. Highlighting all that gold will keep our imps busy for a good long while, digging and hauling, and generally making themselves useful. And once they've dug up all that gold, we'll be swimming in it. Well, maybe not swimming exactly, but we'll certainly have a nice big pile of it to admire. And with our treasury finally filled, we can start thinking about the next phase of our evil plan. It appears our dungeon lacks fortification. That won't do. We'll need to get some walls up to keep unwanted visitors out. I'll set some of the imps to work laying bricks. That should help shore up our defenses. And while we're at it, we should claim that portal. It's just sitting there, waiting to be taken. training room. Excellent. With this, our flies and beetles will be able to hone their skills and become an unstoppable force. They'll be a deadly swarm, feared by all who dare enter our dungeon. The training room will be their proving ground, where they'll learn to attack, to harass, and to drive our enemies mad with frustration. The fortifications are taking their sweet time, aren't they? We need more imps to get the job done quickly. Thankfully, a little dark magic can solve that problem. I'll just conjure up a few more imps, for a small fee, of course. Gold is always a worthy investment when it comes to accelerating our evil plans. While our imps are hard at work filling the treasury and fortifying our dungeon, we can focus on building our army. The training room is calling, and it's time to add some new recruits to the mix. Let's drop in some more flies and beetles and see how they shape up. A strong army is key to our success, after all. With every new creature that emerges from the training room, our power grows and our grip on this dungeon tightens. Soon, we'll be unstoppable. Time is of the essence, and patience is a virtue we can't afford. Let's speed things up, shall we? The imps are working tirelessly, the treasury is filling up, and our army is growing stronger by the minute. We'll skip ahead and see our plans come to fruition. Ah, perfect timing. Just as we're putting the finishing touches on our little home, the heroes arrive. How thoughtful of them. It's almost as if they want to test our defenses, to see if we're worthy of their admiration. But, of course, we can't have that. We need to make sure our fortifications are complete, our traps are set, and our minions are ready to greet them. After all, we want to make a good impression. A lasting impression, preferably. One that will be remembered for all eternity. Or at least until they're nothing more than a pile of bones. Let's hurry along, then. We don't want to keep our guests waiting. The imps, finish up those walls. The beetles, get into position. And the flies, well, just buzz around and be annoying. It's what you're best at, after all. The final bricks are being laid, the last of the gold is being collected, and our defenses are nearing completion. It's been a frantic rush to the finish, but I think we've done a marvelous job. The walls are sturdy, the gates are strong, and our minions are raring to go. A few more tweaks here, a bit of polish there, and our dungeon will be the envy of all the other Dark Lords. Well, perhaps not the envy, exactly, but certainly the terror. Our heroes will soon be facing a fortress of darkness, a bastion of evil that will crush their spirits and shatter their hopes. With a flourish, the last brick is in place. Our fortifications are complete, and we're ready to face whatever heroes dare to challenge us. Bring them on, I say. We'll show them the true meaning of darkness, of despair, and of a really good trap. A tunnel, you say? Excellent idea. Let's dig a path of doom, a corridor of carnage. You get the idea. We'll create a direct route for our heroes to march straight into the training room, where our minions will be waiting to, greet them. The tunnel will be narrow, of course, to funnel them into a kill zone, and dark to disorient them, and perhaps a few surprises along the way to keep them on their toes, or rather, to keep them stumbling forward, blindly into the jaws of death. Our minions will be ready, eager to test their skills against these brave adventurers. And when the heroes emerge from the tunnel, battered and bruised, our minions will be waiting to deliver the finishing blows. It's almost too easy. The moment of truth has finally arrived. Our heroes have taken the bait and are now making their way through the tunnel. The darkness, the narrow passages, the eerie silence. It's all working to our advantage. They're getting closer, I can feel it. The training room is just ahead, and our minions are champing at the bit, ready to unleash their fury upon these unsuspecting adventurers. The tension is palpable. The anticipation is killing me. Let's see how long it takes them to navigate the tunnel, and how long they'll survive once they reach the training room. The silence is almost palpable. Our minions are poised, ready to strike. The tunnel has funneled the dwarf into our trap, and now he's just a few steps away from the training room. The air is thick with anticipation. Our flies are buzzing with excitement. Our beetles are clicking their mandarails in eagerness, and our imps are gripping their daggers with glee. And now, the dwarf emerges from the tunnel, his eyes scanning the room for any sign of danger. But it's too late. Our minions are already closing in. The battle is brief, but brutal. The dwarf swings his axe wildly, but our minions are too numerous, too relentless. They swarm him, overwhelming him with sheer numbers. The dwarf falls, his body crashing to the ground. Our minions immediately set upon him, ensuring that he will not rise again. It's a swift and efficient kill. The dwarf's lifeless body will serve as a warning to his companions. Turn back now while you still can. An excellent suggestion. While we wait for the Lord of the Land to arrive, we might as well extract every last bit of gold from these depths. It's only fitting that we squeeze every ounce of value from this place before we're forced to vacate. Let's get the miners back to work. I want every last vein of gold tapped, every last nugget extracted. We'll need all the wealth we can get to fund our future endeavors. And who knows? Perhaps the Lord of the Land will be so impressed with our thoroughness that he'll spare our lives. Ha! Fat chance of that, but a demon can dream, can't he? It seems our respite was short-lived. Another wave of heroes is approaching, eager to test their mettle against our defenses. Let us see how they fare against our minions. The tunnel is still set, a narrow and winding path that will funnel them straight into the waiting arms of our minions. This group consists of 2 dwarves, stout and proud, armed to the teeth and ready for battle. They look like seasoned veterans, but that won't save them from our clutches. Our minions are eager for battle, and they won't hesitate to swarm these dwarves. Let's see how long they last. Place your bets, my minions. Will they even make it out of the tunnel alive? The Lord of the Land has finally arrived, confident in his own power and the strength of his realm. But he has no idea what awaits him. He marches forward, his armor shining in the dim light of the tunnel, his sword at the ready. Our minions are poised, ready to strike the moment he enters the tunnel. They are the product of our darkest magic, twisted creatures born from the very shadows themselves. They are eager for battle, their eyes glowing with an otherworldly hunger. And strike they do, descending upon the Lord of the Land like a swarm of angry insects. They pour from the darkness, a tide of teeth and claws and razor-sharp blades. The Lord of the Land is powerful, but he is no match for our sheer numbers and ferocity. The battle was brief, the outcome never in doubt. The Lord of the Land fell, his armor dented and battered, his sword slipping from his grasp. Our minions delivered the killing blow. And with his defeat, the realm is ours. We have conquered this land, and all its riches and treasures are now at our disposal. The age of darkness has begun. Thank you all for watching, especially those of you who made it to the very end. I appreciate your dedication and enthusiasm, and your masochism too. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to like and subscribe for more commentary and gameplay of questionable skill. And if you want to support the channel, consider joining my Patreon community. You can find the link in the description below. Until next week, when I'll be diving back into the world of Dungeon Keeper, keep on gaming and remember, evil is good.